So we got the engine oil cooler off, EGR cooler off, turbo mount, standpipe off, or stand mount, intake manifold, turbocharger assembly. Going to clean up all the gasket surfaces, drain all the oil out of that thing. Change the engine oil cooler. There's all the parts and pieces. Get the turbocharger repaired locally and put it back together. So we're putting this oil cooler back together, changing the O-ring seals and gaskets on the top plate between the lower body. I've got the new cooler installed. It's in here already. And just cleaning the top oil filter housing. Here's the gasket that came off, and you can see this gasket here where it's actually blown out. That's mainline oil pressure in this area right here. So that's the mainline oil pressure. For some reason that gasket blew out. You can see it lifted there. And that's where it was leaking oil. Then running down the left hand side of the valley towards the back of the engine, down the bell housing. So putting new gaskets in this thing, put it back together. Turbo's getting fixed as well. So here's the oil cooler from the bottom with the new gasket installed. Let's have a look at the engine. Got the oil cooler reservoir cleaned out, new screen in place, gasket surface clean, holes blowed out. So we're ready to reinstall the oil cooler, and then I figured once I got that oil cooler installed, I'll clean the gasket surfaces for the intake gasket. I got them all plugged so nothing falls in there. So I got the intake ports cleaned on the cylinder heads, EGR cooler installed with new gaskets, turbo pedestal bolted down to the valley, and I glued this steel gasket in here with some contact cement to hold it in place so it doesn't move when I go to put the intake on. And I'm going to leave that turbo or that EGR valve loose until it's actually bolted to the manifold. Well, the intake manifold's back on, EGR pipe is secured, turbo pedestal is back in, turbo drain back tube is back in with new O-rings. So hopefully the turbo's ready tomorrow with the new seals in it, and we can finish assembly of this thing.